Welcome back. I thought I'd talk a little bit about fertilizers, and you can use whatever kind of fertilizer you want. If you want organic fertilizer, then buy organic. I mostly use the Fox Farm Grow Big now because it's a very well rounded fertilizer um, with the NP and K of 644. When I'm doing my seedlings, first few times I actually water any of my seedling plants, I use a very weak strength of this. I prefer liquid fertilizers over pelleted fertilizers. Although, if I can find some organic pelleted fertilizers, sometimes I'll put those in with my garlic. So as I water it, it releases them down. But for the most part, I'm a liquid person just because it absorbs in. Before using the Fox Farm, I had to play chemist a bit because I was using fish emulsion and kelp, or what they call seaweed fertilizer. And those are pretty low. They're not well rounded. It's like they might be high, let's say in nitrogen, but then they don't contain any phosphorus or potassium. If you have fertilizer, use it up. Most any fertilizer is going to work fairly good. Stay away from anything where the nitrogen is above an 8. That can just lead to burning your plants. Unless you dilute it down, and that's fine, then dilute it down. You want to keep it down low. If you're using decent potting soil, or if your garden beds you've added quite a bit of compost, you really don't have to use as much fertilizer as they recommend on these bottles. Since I've been gardening a long time, I can usually tell when my plants really need fertilizer. I would say I'm about once they get established and everything's in the greenhouse, I'm at about every 2, maybe 3 weeks that I give them fertilizer. And again, for me, it's easier to put the liquid in there because I know where it's going. I don't have to. I use drippers, so a lot of times the pelleted stuff doesn't really break down that well. I recommend that everybody use drippers. It saves water and it keeps you from getting other problems with your plants from water splashing up on them. But the choice is yours. There's a bunch out there. Fox Farm is available at Ace, Lowe's, Home Depot, usually Walmart. The Grow Store has it. You can get it online. And so that's one reason why I chose this the first year I did, and I was very satisfied with the product. Fox Farm also carries other fertilizers out there. I think only one of them now is listed as organic, but don't quote me on that. If you have any questions on fertilizer, just leave me a note down below, or if you're on my local Facebook page, you can private message me or leave a message over there, and I'll try and help you out the best I can. I hope this helps. I know it's kind of vague, but fertilizers, what I have found in the past is it's a personal preference. If you are really organic, you're only going to use organic fertilizers. But I will tell you, just using fish emulsion is not going to give your plant enough, or just using sea kelp is not going to give your plants enough. Now, if you have very strong composted, growing bed and everything like that, you may not even need any fertilizer. But know that if you start seeing problems, it could be because something's lacking one way or the other. And really, the only way to figure that out, besides doing a soil test, and I don't think you have to send it out to a lab, if you're just trying to figure out what you might be lacking in, the soil tests that you can buy online, and some of the stores during the growing season carry them, will give you a general idea. So you know what you need to add. But again, if you're using something well-rounded, like the Fox Farm, again, it's a 644, you're going to be fine. Happy gardening.